Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Welcome to another episode of Inside the Firm. I am here with Lance, birthday boy Cayko.
Birthday boy, that's right.
Woo. I am Al, birthday boy Gore. We have birthdays both this month.
Send us cards.
Yes. Email us.
Send us, you know what we both really need? No one sang us happy birthday. I'm serious. So I need you guys to record yourselves and sing us happy birthday. Send that in.
Yep. Email AKG at F9 Productions.
Jason Altman, come on.
Or LMC at F9 Productions. We'll see how that goes. We have a great show for you today. It is titled "How to Get 5-Star Reviews Without Even Getting Hired." Interesting.
Yeah, I stole your gusto there. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We got a lot of great stuff to talk about. Before we do that, if you are interested in revamping, revising, or upping your Revit skills, go to RevitRocketship.com and give yourself or your staff on the same page so that you can model like it gets built, go quicker, and get more reward. RevitRocketship.com. Lance?
Gain lessons learned and credits earned with Arcademy. Wow.
Ooh, I like
Arcademy.
Arcademy.
Arcatemy. ARCAT's Continuing Edge program. Listen to popular episodes of the Detailed podcast and earn AIA-approved HSW credits. Choose an episode, check out the learning objectives, and use what you've learned while listening to take the course. The program is free and can be found at arcat.com under Resources tab, or just go to arcat.com/arcademy. That's arc.com/ARCATEMY. Again, that's arcat.com/ARCATEMY. I should practice that read.
Arcademy.
It's cool. It's catchy. What do we got, Al?
So I'll start off with inflation picks up speed. Yep. The January inflation data complicates the Fed's plans as soaring eggs, energy costs, and consumer pushes prices higher. So essentially, the latest data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics showed that consumer price index increased to 3% over the prior year in January. It's an uptick from 2.9 in December. The economists expected it to rise 0.3%, but it rose 0.5%. And Lance, I want you to scroll all the way down to the chart.
Scrolling down. Now chart Gore. There it is. Nice.
Yep. So you can see it's a lot lower than it was before.
It says, the title is, I think it's funny, Inflation's Bumpy Path Back to 2%.
Yep. And that 2% is something that...
God, we had it good.
Yep. Basically was just said.
We had it good.
It hopefully should come down to that. That would be absolutely great. But keep scrolling down till you Jerome Powell, and then show all the paragraphs below him. So get him out of frame right there. Let's start right there.
We got it.
So here's the quote. There's no sugarcoating this. This is not a good print. Claudia Sahm, chief economist at New Century Advisors and former Fed Reserve economist, told Yahoo's Finance Morning Briefs. The one thing to say is this is a familiar disappointment, she continued, noting that the start of the new year has previously contributed to upside surprise. Here's the quote. Having a hot print in January in recent years has been a common occurrence. It has been a common occurrence that dissipates as the years have gone on. So this isn't a real deal breaker for the year as a whole, but it is certainly not a good way to start things off. So here's the main point, a couple main points. Point one, Lance and I were talking not only to each other, but I have a business group. If you want to join that, email me out. We have a bunch of friends in the industry, from contractors to structural engineers to things like that. January seemed like off to a hot start.
Yep.
February kind of fizzled. And the conclusion was until the fundamentals of the economy changes, which means interest rates going down and or prices going down, it's going to be similar to last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you should have that in your mindset. You should plan for that. You should see how to tackle that and what you want to do about that, right?
Yep. 100%. Like, that's what I'm saying is, I reached out to a couple of buddies that own architecture firms. Same sentiment. I've had like a phone call with our couple structural engineers we work with. Same sentiment. Had a lunch with a group of civil engineers. Same sentiment. Had a phone call with one of my best civil engineering friends. Same sentiment. It's like we came out of the gate just ready to rock. Everybody's like wants to do things.
Yeah.
So that's I call the January bump like it was an enthusiasm bump, and then we went.
Wait,
Dang
everything's
it.
the same. Yep,
It's still the same. And like, me and Al have been hustling hard to make sure we're saving very precious design build projects, projects that we've taken, that we've designed, and then we flipped into builds. And I assure you, that's what like helped us stave off any kind of layoffs last year. It continued to help us grow. That's why you should be a builder too instead of just an architect. architectsguide2.com. So just buckle up. Like, You know what's going to happen in March? We're back to enthusiasm. And then, you know what's going to happen in April? Back to not enthusiasm.
We're manic depression. Manic.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's just going to be rocky. That's okay, though. Make sure, again, like you're trying to convert as many of those projects into building projects. I just think that's your key to survival until we finally get out of the woods.
And I saw one headline this morning that I couldn't find again that was saying the headline was rate cuts won't come till September, which I have no idea that what's true or not. But I just want to read this.
Might happen, yeah.
Interest rate futures are pointing to just over a 50% probability of one rate cut by mid-2025. I would agree with that.
I think so too.
Rate cut by mid-2025. Although poll medians predict the Fed will lower rates twice this year, reaching between 3.75 and 4% at the end of 2025. If there are two rate cuts, one in the beginning of the year and one at the end of the year, I would say that's what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So buckle up. Hang on. It's not going to crash. I think that's like the most confidence I could give anybody listening to this show is like, I don't think it's going to crash. There's too much demand. People are wanting to go. We're just coming out of the woods still. There's a lot, like before we even started recording, some of the talk was about like different people's reactions to the tariffs. They don't freak me out. I think they're a negotiating tactic at this point. Like they keep getting punted, so have they really affected anything yet? Like not to the extent that I think the fear mongers have.
Yep.
So we just gotta wade through this.
So I think that's true. And honestly, I don't know if they should only be used as a tactic. Here's why. One, when COVID happened, everyone was enthusiastic that we needed to shorten the supply chain and make things back in America, right? Also, two, the long history. I love history. I'm not.
You're a history buff.
I'm a history buff, but what I'm trying to say is not really, because some history buffs, like they are just like every night is reading a history book.
Here's what he's not. He's not an history encyclopedia, but he's a history buff.
Exactly. And one thing that I have seen as a pattern about wars that are won is an utter destruction of the economic basis of the losers, right? Same thing, the Civil War with the South, defeating Nazi Germany. Like you look back, the only way you decisively win is that you make it so like they're more concerned about just like food and putting shoes on. Like you can't even put shoes on.
The British were so scared that they were going to lose that they're still eating as if they lost. I can say that as a Brit, okay? I'm like 12% British.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably something like that too.
I guarantee you are some, yeah.
But here's my point. You could have a long view of history, and you could do that in a peaceful way and bring down another superpower just through that means. Meaning, if you move all the industrial base from one place in America to another place in China and they turn the spigot off, obviously you could use the point that's going to hurt them. But in a scenario where you're in control, who has the control over the lever? So like if we're looking at the long arc of history, you should be able to produce stuff in your own country. And if that means doing some things to make that happen and prices go up, I look at America and what I see is a bunch of storage facilities that are just used to store stuff, a bunch of basements that are just used to store stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean like a lot of stuff. I go into some of these, clients' houses too, and it's like you have so much stuff. And if prices raise 12, 15%, I don't like inflation or anything like that. Maybe you should maybe you should buy less stuff. Maybe you shouldn't have that storage facility and all that other stuff. And I know that's just one piece of the pie, but I wanted to give that broader perspective because we all kind of had that perspective during COVID of, yes, we should be manufacturing more at home. Yes, we shouldn't have got our whole manufacturing.
Quick, swift kick in the groin.
Yeah.
That oh my gosh, look how vulnerable we are. Yeah. That's the word I've been hoping you would say. It's a vulnerability issue for me. I don't like it.
Yep. But now that is being addressed, it shouldn't knee jerk. Oh, that's a bad thing.
I feel vulnerable right now not having chickens. Frankly, chickens.
I know.
Where I'm like, shit. I should have kept. I can't have chickens right now. Eventually, hopefully next year when I buy a farm. But anyway, yeah.
You'll be so rich. They produce so much.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yep. Yeah. Multifamily. Our good friends over at the National Association of Home Builders, by the way, joined a committee over there for the chapter we're in here in the Denver Metro, and it was amazing, eye-opening experience. We in the committee, what it is, it's about permitting. And we had a lot of the big players from various jurisdictions on the call with us, and like literally officials from the city, different cities and counties. And it was, I couldn't believe they wanted to engage with us. It just felt like a better partnership. And I just got to wonder again, like, honestly, somebody tell me if I'm wrong here. Is the AIA advocating for this kind of stuff? Like, I was just, there was another architect, a big competitor of ours. He ended up he's chairing the committee. He did a great job. I was like one of him and I think there was one other architect there, and then there was a bunch of builders. And then half of the rest of everybody was all these planning officials and building officials
at this actual meeting.
At this meeting on Zoom, you got to hear about how understaffed they are because none of them said they were like perfectly staffed. They all needed more help and stuff like that. But then there was just we learned about like when they're going to adopt codes, when they're not going to adopt codes, things we should be watching out for. We got to ask them just direct questions about like why are plans being rejected or not going through quickly, and they're like, well, for the most part, it's like deficiencies and stuff like this or whatever, Sure, yeah. Whatever,
Yeah.
But what I was thankful for is that there was a dialogue, and I just wondered if there is one, if the AIA is like doing this stuff.
Why I think it's a good topic to bring up is because that whole conversation you had is really related to architects. The contractors are really interested in it because they want the plans to go through so that they can start making money. But
they're making money.
They're not addressing the comments. No. They're not. And one thing too that from the architect hat, and in general, is that bureaucracies always want to add more people so that they can do more bureaucratic stuff. And the pushback that needs to come from our profession and the construction profession is, city, are you doing things you don't need to do?
Yeah. Like, are you asking for things you don't need to?
Yeah.
How we avoid this process?
Yep. Because they would waffle and say some answer, and then I would like to bring up, well, I work in many counties as well, and we are held to the same standard and the same building code. And why are they getting through and it's not getting through for you? And it could be a couple different things, right? Oh, we have to refer to all these agencies where they don't have all these agencies. Well, okay, but do you? Like, do you? Mm-hmm. Because gets built out there, doesn't fall down out there. What's going on? Anyways, that's part of that dialogue that we could have.
Yeah.
Like, they need to stop doing the amount that they're doing.
Yeah. Let's look in the rearview mirror, though, a little bit here. So the article I have pulled up today was just published a few days ago, but it's just yesterday, actually, February 13th, from the NAHB. Multifamily developer confidence reflected mixed results in the fourth quarter. For us, this has been a big missing piece of our multi-pronged, diversity is our strength approach at F9, where we're trying to have 4 or 5 different kinds of typologies that we're doing. So if one falls off, then we survive, and it proved it worked, because we last year was technically a recession, and there was no layoffs. We got to grow and all the good stuff, continue doing all the good things. But multifamily is like a big one that needs to come back, and the developers just cannot get it. A lot of them cannot get it to pencil right now. So here's their take from last quarter. Confidence in the market for new multifamily housing reflected mixed results year over year in the fourth quarter, according to the Multifamily Market Survey, or MMS, released today by the National Association of Home Builders. The MMS produces 2 separate indices. Oh, I love that word. While the Multifamily Production Index, MPI, increased 7 points to 48 year over year, it is still below the break-even point of 50. The Multifamily Occupancy Index had a reading of 81, up 4 points year over year. So it's not looking the best. It's still not that confident. And they kind of round out the article with, quote, an MPI below 50 is what we'd expect given the multifamily starts decline in both 2023 and 2024, said NAHB Chief Economist Robert Dietz. We are projecting that the multifamily construction will decline again in the first half of 2025 before stabilizing towards the end of the year, with industry supported by a low national unemployment rate. The MMS was redesigned last year to produce results that are easier to interpret and consistent with the proven format, blah, blah, blah. So I think you just got to look towards, hopefully, the second half of the year we come out of the woods. I think that's the idea. We're coming out of the woods in multiple ways and moving ahead. And the last little thing,
stay tuned for next month, where everything is great and amazing, and then the next month after that, oh, just kidding.
Yeah, just kidding. And the last part I've got for everybody is I want to give everybody a tip on how to get 5-star reviews without getting hired. That's the title of this episode. It's happened again, ladies and gents. This has happened multiple times now in our 15 years of existence in Colorado, being a small firm and trying to provide some of the best customer service that the state has to offer as far as architecture goes. And it happened again. So I got what happened? The quick story is I got an inquiry from this gal up in the mountains who wanted to create an ADU, and she wanted to create an addition to her barn dominium, the primary residence. And the bigger lesson beyond how to get this 5-star review without getting hired is your first mission is to serve, no matter what, right? It should be if you're a service-based business. So one of the things that I had to figure out, and that she didn't know, and a lot of folks don't know, is they've never been through this process before. They're never going to maybe they'll do it maybe once in their lives. So to them, it's very daunting to even understand what does the planning department do? What does the building department do? What are the rules I have to comply with and all of that? And somehow this gal had in her head that there was going to be a big vote coming up or something where they could only build so much, like that there was going to be this side restriction, and that she had to be in, the drawings had to be in by the end of the day today, and she was just scrambling and all of that. So I knew that my primary, if I could get her to calm down and I could soothe her just by seeking to understand, that I could probably win over her business no matter what, even if it was a short deadline, or come to find out there is no short deadline. She actually has until May to do it. So I spent a couple hours of my day emailing, texting, and calling this county in Colorado, seeking to understand if what she was saying was true about this upcoming moratorium. And lo and behold, it wasn't. So I don't know where she got a hold of it. It doesn't matter. But in the end, I was able to, at the end of the day, text back and forth with one of the senior planners. And then in the morning, and then I gave her all that information. Followed up with her the next day, asked her if she wanted to see like a formal proposal. She goes, no, I think we just, my husband and I need to like scale things back a little bit because, first of all, we don't need to move as quickly as we thought, so that's good, or whatever. And then I got the sort of nail in the coffin in the good way was, or like the cherry on top rather was. Then I got this email from the other senior planner I had been emailing, who was super forthright. In a great way, nice and bubbly in the email and everything. She goes, "Oh no, you don't. There's nothing to worry about. Here's what's happening. It's all good." And so I took a screenshot of that and I go, "Hey, I know you're not going to go with us and you guys are kind of pausing right now, but I just want to let you know this is a second confirmation that you're in good shape." And she goes, "Oh my God, you are a godsend. I'm going to leave you a 5-star review." I didn't even ask her. And I go, "Oh great, leave it here." And I gave it and I gave her the link or whatever. Boom, 5-star review. That's not the first time. It's not the last time, right? Now, like, think even further, right? And so I know a lot of people are worth a lot of money per hour. I get it. Especially if you're like a principal and owner and all that stuff. Like, your time is very, very valuable. But just don't ever lose sight of like you are a public figure. And one of the episodes recently was like, wasn't it like how to ruin your reputation in like 5 minutes or something like that? So, but like. But then there's also the flip side of it, and this story that I'm telling you, that's very important. So, like, you really have to be on point. Remember that, like, you are serving much more than yourself, not only the clients, but like Al Gore. If you have a business partner, all your staff, your family, it's okay to give a little because without thinking about what you're going to get in the end, that was not my goal. My goal was to win the business.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't know, that 5-star, like how much was that 5-star review worth?
Yep.
Every time, like how much is that actually worth? Like it probably can translate to some kind of dollar amount. So that's what we got for you this week. Get those 5-star reviews without getting hired. Send us birthday wishes, cards, the songs. Leave us a 5-star review. We'll see you next week.